Hello everyone, welcome to MES e-learning channel. In this video, we are going to learn to write a program in C to find reverse of a string using another string. Also, we have to define a user-defined function to find the length of the string. Okay? So, basically we have a function in string which will directly find us the length, but here in the program they have asked us to write a user-defined function for the same. So, let us try to understand what we have to do. Okay? So, when they say we have to find a reverse of a string, so if the string is hello, after reversing it should 0 should come at the beginning. Okay. So, let us see as per indexing. So, this is at 0 index 1, 2, 3 and 4. So, whatever is at 4 should come at 0. So, 0 has so the 0 will have O, then L, then E and then H at the 0th position. Okay. So, this is what is expected as the end result. Also, we have to write a user defined function like I told you to calculate the length of the string. So, at the beginning we have to include our header files as usual. So, we will be including stdio, the standard IO header, stdio.h, then hash include conio.h, okay, and then you will also attach string.h header file in case you use any functions related to strings which are present in this particular header. Then you will write the function to calculate length of your string, right. So, the return type is integer. So, we are writing int because it will calculate and return the length, right, to the main function. That is why int. Let us keep the name of the function as find string length. Now, what are the arguments that are required by this particular function? It will require the character string, right. So, here there are two ways of writing it. You can either write const at the beginning saying that this character string that we are passing should not be changed or modified by this function. So, that is why we are writing const. If you do not write, then also it is okay. The data type, that is character, and then star str, okay, that is the string that the user will pass in the main function. Okay. So, you can either write it like this or you can write char, the data type, and then you will write str and then you will put empty square brackets. So, you either write it like this or write like this, both are okay. In this also, if you do not write const, it is okay. Okay. So, we are using this. Okay. So, while executing the code, you can try to make the alterations and see if it is making any difference in the code. Then here inside, this is the declaration of our function. Okay. Now, let us write the definition of the function. Now, what is definition of the function? Definition of function is the execution that will take place if this particular function is called. Okay. What steps need to be taken when this particular function is called? So, if this function is called, first of all we have to create a variable to store length, right. So, length initially is 0 because we have not yet calculated it. So, initially it is 0. Then we are using while, okay. So, while and then you put a condition here, right. So, here in while you are writing str, whatever is the string, its name is str, okay, and you are checking if the length, okay, the length of the string is not equal to the 0, okay, 0 operator or 0 terminator. Okay. So, this is present, okay, this is present in your string. Suppose our string is hello, as I told you. So, when it is saved, okay, the compiler by default it will add a 0 operator at the end to indicate that this particular string has ended. So, this is how it will be stored inside your memory. So, this is added by default by the compiler. So, till when we have to calculate the length? Till you reach this point, okay, right. So, that is why we have taken this condition. So, if this condition is true, it has to increment the length, right? So, it has to increment the length by 1. Okay. So, what will happen? It will start counting from your 0th position, 0 index. So, here it will count and then the length will become, from 0 it will become 1. Here it, from 1 it will be incremented, it will be made 2. Here it will be made 3, 4, 5, right? And then when it reaches here, this condition is false, right? So, if this condition is false, it will stop incrementing the value of length, and finally length is equal to what? 5, which is what we want. So, length is calculated, okay, it is incremented when this particular condition is true, and then at the end it will return what? It will return you the length. It will return back the value of length at the end. So, you put a semicolon here and then you will put a closing curly brace for this function. Okay. So, this is the user defined function that we have written to calculate length of the string. Now, we will write our code. Okay. So, here we are writing int main. So, this is the main function that will have our actual code. Here again we will have to declare all the variables that we are going to use. So, very firstly we have to create our input string, which is of character data type. So, let us say the name itself is input string and its size is 100. Then we have a reverse string also. In the question they have asked us to use another string, that is why we are using reversed string, which will also have the same size. Okay. And then we will have to have a variable for length. Let us say we are naming it length only here also. Okay. So, length is created here, okay, of integer data type and iterator I, okay, which is also of integer data type. After declaring all your variables, you will write CLR SCR, which is clear screen. Okay. Then we are printing enter a string, because we have to take the string from the user, which needs to be reversed. So, we are writing enter the string okay. So, you have to put /n over here, so that the next part will go on the new line. So, after printf we will write scanf to take the input from the user. So, here for string the format specifier is s. So, we are writing %s and then comma, and here you will directly write input string, you will not put ampersand. Okay. Please keep that in mind. Okay. For strings you need not write ampersand here in scanf, you directly write the name of the string. Okay. So, now you have taken the string, now you have to basically calculate the length of the string. So, here we are going to create a variable for length, which we have already created. So, length will be assigned the value. Okay. After calculating length, to calculate length we have already written a user defined function with the name find string length. So, we will call it by writing its name. So, I am writing find string length. We have to be cautious when we are calling the function, the name should be perfectly correct, and then we have to pass the arguments required by it. So, what does it require? It requires the string, right, of which we have to find the length, right. So, we will pass the string. Now, what is our string? Our string is input string, correct. Now, you will write input string over here. You do not have to write the data type, okay, because you have already specified the data type here, no need of writing it again, just write the name of the string when calling the function. Okay. So, we wrote it here, we got the length, which is saved in this variable. Okay. Now, we are going to write a for loop to reverse the string. So, if our string is, let us say, hello. Okay. So, this is how it is. Yes. So, this is how it is, and at the end it will have the 0 operator, okay, you can say to terminate, 0 terminator you can say at the end, which is for the compiler's use. We do not save it like that, we only write hello. By at the end it adds this particular terminator at the end, okay, indicating that the string has ended. Okay. So, what are the index 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4, and there are a total of 5 elements inside this string, correct. So, when you write the for loop, you will start from the 0 index, correct. So, I is equal to 0, I is less than the length. Now, what is the length? Length is 5, right. So, I is 0, then I will be incremented, correct. I plus plus we have written, so I will be incremented to 1, to 2, 3 and 4. When it becomes 5, is 5 less than length? Because length is what? 5. So, this condition will become false. So, we will only have how many values of I? 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4, correct. Okay. So, that is why we have written the for loop like this. After that, we will write, we will be assigning reverse string something. So, reverse strings ith element is equal to input string length minus I minus 1 element. Now, what exactly are we trying to do here? So, this is our input string, correct. So, this is our input string, the length is equal to 5. So, when you do this, so you do 5 minus I. What is the value of I in the first iteration? It is 0 minus 1. So, what is this equal to? This is equal to 0. So, input strings fourth element, you are accessing which element? You are accessing the fourth element. What is in the fourth element? It is O. Where are we going to place this O in the reverse string? We are going to place it in the I position. What is I? I is 0. So, we are basically placing O here in the 0th position. Okay. So, this is what we want to do, we want to reverse it. So, O will come here, which is happening. Now, here in the next iteration, okay, you will have to put a curly brace here. Okay. So, in the next iteration, I will be incremented, I will become 1, correct. I will become 1, again this condition will be true, here you will have 1, and here what is going to happen? Now, since I is what? I is 1. So, 5 the length minus I, which is 1 minus 1. So, this will be what? This will be 3, correct. So, whatever is in the input string at the third position, that is L, is equal to what? So, it will be placed in one position of the reverse string, which is here. So, what will come here? L, and so on, correct. So, this is how each of the elements will come in your this thing, in your reverse string. So, this is how you will get the reverse string. So, once this is done, you will put a closing curly brace for the for loop, and at the end of the reverse string, you will, okay. So, reverse string on the length, okay. So, what is the length? Length is nothing but 5. So, at 5th place, you are adding the 0 operator or the 0 terminator, so that it is added at the end of your string, okay. So, after that, once it is done, you will print your original string, which is your input string, and you will print your reverse string. So, for that we can basically use what? We can use printf statements, yes. So, we have written printf original string percentage %s, because the format specifier for string is %s, and then here you will write input string after the comma, which will be pasted, and printf reversed string %s, okay, /n for new line, and you will write reverse string, the string name that you have created. Then you will write get ch if you are using Conio at the beginning. For Turbo C++, then you will write return after get ch, return 0, and you will close your main ka curly brace. Okay. So, here since we are using int main, we are writing return 0. If you are not using int main, if you are using void main, you can skip the part, return 0 part. So, here we have typed the code to find we have written a function to find the length of the string, and then we are reversing the original string that we have received from the user. Okay. So, once you have written the code in Turbo C++, you can save it by pressing F2. Okay. Always save, you save the code with the proper name, okay, by save as, and then you will save it by clicking F2. Right. After that, Alt plus F9 to compile the code, click enter, Control F9 to run the code. Here you can enter a string. Okay. Let us say we are entering Pillai, okay, and when you click enter, it will show you the original string and the reverse string. So, our code is working perfectly fine. Okay. I hope you have understood how the code is working. If you have any doubt, please ask it in the comment section below. Thank you for watching.